Hello, I'm Paul Isles, Project Manager for Accurascale, and it's time for an update on our Electro-Star project. Now, it's been a while since we did the original filming for the launch back in January, and now we've come to the end of the year, and the first EP has arrived with us. So we thought we'd bring it along today, explain to you a few parts and parcels of what's going on with the EP, where we see the project going, and a timeline for what's going to happen in the future. Right, so what have we got in front of us? Well, it is the EP, the engineering prototype, and this has been assembled by the factory from the first shots of the tooling. This is the first time we've seen the plastic die-cast etched metal parts all assembled together, and it's an important part of the project. This is where, for the first time, we've got something physical to pick up and check against all the design work that's been done, all the research, all the scans, and to make sure that the parts fit together properly, that they fit where they should, that they don't fall off, that they haven't got mixed up, that obviously we've just spent hours and hours worth of CAD, and sometimes things can get transposed from one section of CAD to the other. So this is where we start, and this represents the starting point of a lot of feedback. So I'll go through and we'll look at each coach on its own, and we'll pick out some salient points of what I think will interest you all. Let's start with the driving vehicle, the DMOS, DMCO, all the different abbreviations that have followed this through. This is the important part. This is, if you like, the locomotive part of the unit. And from underneath you can see we have the gears arranged in the bogie, motor mounted just forward here, driving the front bogie. Now, obviously, with the second DMCO, that sits at the back and that drives the rear. So what you've effectively got is an articulated four-car locomotive driving from the rear bogie and from the front bogie. Now, the first thing you do when you look at an EP, the plastic parts of a unit, is you look at the glazing, and it looks wrong because obviously on the real thing, it's decoration that blacks out the windows. So although these are a continuous piece of glazing, the decoration will actually form the window parts, if you like. Interiors change. Now this is a 3756, so we're quite comfortable here. We've got 2+2 seating, slightly different arrangements as you move between the cars. Nice fully lit interior, which will hopefully pick out all these details as we run through them. The cabs are nicely detailed as well, and we've got cab lighting and desk lighting with this. Now, as you take a look in it, there's a lot of detail in there, and like the real thing, it's very cramped in there. But hopefully the shots we'll show you here will give you some indication of what was gone into them. The moulding is quite sweet on these. It's we've got depth where there needs to be depth. We've got raised detail where there needs to be raised detail. Now we've got all the various brake modules, converter modules, the electrics, the battery packs, the shoe gear, the shoe fuses, and these change subtly between our models that we're replicating. We've also got the third rail shoes, which one of the first things will be put into the accessory bag because they're too fragile to fit and have transported with them fitted. but they're there for you to fit yourselves. And this is part and parcel of why we have EPs. We have all the parts fitted, and we need to go through and assess what's safe to fit from the factory and what needs to be added to the accessory bag. We come to lighting, and in terms of lighting, this is going to be the most complex. Not only have we got the interior, and we've got the cab and we've got the desk, but we've also got the working CDL lights. They're all set up ready. Destination screens. When we launched these, we weren't too sure about how we were going to approach the subject of destinations. Discussions with the factory have meant that we can now actually locate different destinations. So when we reveal the deco samples, you'll see that the models will come with a destination actually in there, but there'll be alternatives in the pack that you can swap in and out. So hopefully that'll allay some of the worries and concerns that you communicated about wanting to fit different destinations. The same goes with the front. You'll be able to swap out the destinations. We need to work out how best to do that because it's a friction fit on the glazing. And obviously you've then got the windscreens there that can be removed. So what we do with an EP is we have everything there, and then we start to look at the potentials for problems for pinging parts off, all the rest of it. So it's an important part of our investigations. So how do we get to the destinations? Well, that bit, we have a magnetic roof which we can ping off. Now, this area will be occupied by the PCB on the finished models, but you'll also see a number of letterbox openings inside here where you'll be able to place the destinations, removing, obviously, the one in the first place. They're all lit from behind and it'll be on acetate, so you'll get that effect of it being a matrix screen. So next we come to the PTSOL, the pantograph car, and this is where the trickery comes alive. We've taken inspiration from the actual prototypes, which have a slightly lowered area beneath the pantograph to be able to accommodate it. If any of you have travelled in Electro-Star, you'll know that if you sit in the section underneath the pantograph, that the roof is actually lowered. There's no handrail luggage racks there, for instance, because of the lowered section. And this is what we've taken with the model, that we've been able to lower the roof slightly in line with the prototype to be able to fit a horizontal motor in there for the pantograph. And like the 92 and the 89, this is fully working under DCC. Pantograph car's obviously got the accessible toilet in there, slightly different seating layout, still 2+2. And again, you've got the lighting, the destination screens. Here I've got to work out the roof a little bit more because obviously we've got the pantograph there. We've got connections via pogos and the rest of it, but need to have a look at that and work out whether there's any potential problems there. Again, the underframe detail has been a pleasure. The big converter modules underneath, the pipe work, which has been nice to add and just gives it that little bit of extra character. Big open windows, revealing the interior. Again, these will be painted up so that it fits with the real one. And you might ask why we've got the glazing set like this, and it's actually so when we come to the 379s and the 387s, we can actually fit the different glazing that's in those. So it's all part of the future proofing of the tooling. So that being said, we then come to the next one, which is the MOSL, just the bog standard motor car. Again, we've got etched detail here on the converters, the motor units. Again, we can get to the destinations, and you'll notice that because we're using one decoder to activate all the functions throughout the unit, we've got a slightly different coupling mechanism. So these kinetic couplings all clip together and they carry a 10-pin socket and carry all the electrical information from the lead car right the way through the unit. The second driving car, fairly much similar to the lead driving car, with the exception that the PCB won't be carrying a DCC decoder on board. So it helps us to differentiate this at the factory by having this. And it just links together. As I said before, it's effectively a long articulated locomotive. Motor driving the front bogie, driving the rear bogie, and there'll be plenty of power to enable this to negotiate even down to R2 curves. Now, modern technology has allowed replication of units in a far better way than it did previously. You know, we started off with motors sort of coming into the interiors and taking up a large space in there. And gradually, as motor technologies improved and electronic technologies improved, it allows us to create a more prototypically literate multiple unit. And this is why we've gone with the single decoder. It makes such a difference to the way it makes it cheaper for you as the customer, because you've only got the one decoder to worry about if you're upgrading. Of course, if you've bought a DCC fitted version, you haven't got to worry about that. It also allows more space on the PCB to do things like the various lighting functions and for the sound as well. Now, sound at the moment the project is going through its paces. Its various sections are being recorded already. We've got a few more to do, and then our sound engineer will bring them all together. So while we're on the subject of sound, speaker placement, it's a topic that has haunted me on some things, but we'll move on past that. Speaker placement is fluid at the moment. We're not sure yet whether the best way is to have it mounted to the PCB or in the underframe cabinets, and we've got space on both sides to do that. It's all down to replication of sound. You know, will it sound better coming from the rear, the base of the model, or will it sound better coming from the upper section? And this is why we have these continued tests, engineering tests, as we work through, and which is why we work closely with ESU on the sound and the PCB. So that brings us to the end of this little update. I hope you like what you've seen. I'm certainly happy with where the project is at the moment. Sometimes you come across and you worry about certain things, but this project is certainly in a good place in terms of engineering and going forward. If you like what you see, then please feel free to pre-order your models. You can do that either from our own website at accurascale.com or from our partners, Rails of Sheffield, who are working on this project with us. All the details you need are down in the comments, and if you've got any further comments about things that you've seen that you'd like clarified or questions you've had, please feel free to add those comments as well, or to email in. You can, of course, contact us through our social media channels as well. I look forward to bringing you the deco and bringing you some colour on these. And until that time, thank you very much. I'm Paul Isles, and it's been nice talking to you.